Assalamu alaikum. I happened to watch this video of Sahil, Adeem, and Sheikh Usta at Desecularize Islam. That is a sort of podcast. And naturally, the two uh, wanted to spit venom against secularism, and they did. And Sheikh Usta claimed that basically the French and the British colonial empires desecularized Islam as if there were Islam before that. So were there Islamic governments? Like look at, for instance, India. Aurangzeb had his own brothers killed. The same could be said about Humayun, Akbar, and other emperors. The Suris fought against Lodis. I don't know under which Islamic law they fought against it. Babur, before invading and plundering in India, he also fought against his own relatives, his own brothers, in parts of what today could be described as Central Asia or Afghanistan. The same could be said about the robber and plunderer Mahmud Ghaznavi. He fought against Muslim kings and rulers as well. And if you look at Banu Umayyad, then Banu Abbas, there is a terrible history. Uh, when Banu Abbas came into power, Abu Abbas as-Safa, it is claimed by a historian that he cut the members of Banu Umayyad families or the ruling family to pieces, sitting on it and having feast. And so many caliphs were killed by their own people throughout Islamic history. Fratricide, the very term in during the Ottoman Empire. If one brother had made it to the power corridors of the Ottoman capital, then he would have other brothers killed, and this would last for a very long time. In Al Andalusia as well, there have been fight of successions, and all those who were fighting Muslim, and you would not see a lot of difference when these ruling elite captured different areas. They took help from wherever they could take. For instance, it is asserted that Mehmed the Great took the help of a Polish Christian or a Western Christian to break the siege, or when he wanted to conquer Constantinople. In the same way, you could see a lot of Hindus and Rajput in the army of Aurangzeb. Shivaji had Muslim generals in the same way fighting against Aurangzeb. And you can have the army, you can look at the army of Ranjit Singh, who was a Sikh, but Muslims were fighting. So if the British and the French desecularized Islam, the question is that was there Islam before colonization? Were the Muslim government Islamic in nature? And was it theocracy or what? So that's one thing. The second distortion that Sheikh Usta resorted to was, in reality, British and American imperialist or French imperialists, they promoted these religious classes not only in Muslim world but in Christian world as well. They supported Christian clergy. The largest Darul Uloom or Islamic centers in India were established or set up during the time of the British, and it was secular Arab nationalists who opposed religious clergy, or who opposed Western colonialism. In the same way, we can see like Abdul Wahab Najdi in Saudi Arabia. He was supported by British colonial empire to fight against the Ottoman. So it is wrong to say. Then during the Cold War, it was American, imperialist government or American imperialism that supported fundamentalists all over the world. Uh, American imperialist and of course Western imperialists, they did the same thing. They supported Ikhwanul Muslimin directly or indirectly in Egypt, Masjumi in Indonesia, Ayatollah Kashani in Iran, directly or indirectly Jamaat Islami in Pakistan, Hizb Islami in Afghanistan. So Sheikh Usta is distorting fact when he says in reality these all fundamentalists, they were supported and bankrolled by American and Western imperialism. Mohammed bin Salman and so many Saudi officials are now openly saying it. Mohammed bin Salman was asked by an American journalist, and he said that we set up religious seminaries and promoted this ideology for the sake of your interest. Even Pakistani generals and Pakistani ministers are saying that. So the sole job of people like Sheikh Usta, Sahil Adeem is to spit venom against secularism, and they distort facts. Even fundamentalists and terrorists like Osama bin Laden, once upon a time, they were the blue eyed guys of the West in one way or another way. This is what many critics in the West also blame. Michael Moore has done, a documentary on it. William Blum has written about it, and George Galloway has written about it, and so many other Western writers. They have accused Western countries to prop up these fundamentalists during war, because for them the main enemy was the Soviet Union and Soviet communism, and they also supported. Uh, in a way, Christian, not Christian fundamentalists, but at least Christian, clergy or Christian religious classes in countries like Poland and also parts of Latin America. So when these two, Sheikh Usta and fundamentalists like Sahil Adeem, talk about secularism, spitting venom against secularism, they try to lie and they try to hide reality. So that's one thing. Another question is, I just do not understand what's their obsession with secularism. So do, if they want Islamic system in Islamic countries, do they want Hindutva or Hindu system in India? Do they want Christianity in Western Europe? And these people do not tell Muslim what happened when Christianity was in ascendance. When it was ascendant, what happened to the Muslim? For instance, when Isabella and Ferdinand got united, and they kicked out Muslim from Iberian Peninsula. First, they gave them option to convert to Christianity, and then they kicked them out. The same happened with Jews who had been collaborating with Muslims, who had been living side by side Muslim for centuries. Muslim ruled or lived in the Iberian Peninsula for more than 700 years, coming around 711, and they lived there for a very long time, and even then they were kicked out. And then this religious government turned the life of Muslim and Jews and agnostic and atheists into hell. And later on, they started coming hard or cracking down on Aryan Christianity and other form of Christianity. So what turned out in the name of Christianity, it was essentially a sectarian government. In the same way, whenever we see a rise of a sort of a wave of religious fundamentalism or religiosity, we notice that minorities are always targeted. For instance, uh, during towards the end of the 11th century, when the Pope declared crusade against Muslims, so they not only targeted Muslim, carrying out plundering in Odisha, Antioch, Jerusalem, and other Jerusalem and other state, but they also, their first target were the Jews living in Germany and other parts. They targeted them, they killed them, they massacred them, and later on they killed their own Christian brothers in part of Byzantine Empire. Even in Jerusalem, there were Christian and Muslim and Jewish quarters, and they killed Jewish quartered, though massacre was limited as compared to Muslim. And they also killed some of the Christians because they believed that Christian subscribing to the ideas of Orthodox Christianity, they were not pure Christians. So, do people like Sheikh Usta and Sahil Adeem, do they want Hinduism in India? So, do they want more than 200 million Muslims to be kicked out from India? So, Sahil Adeem will take them to Canada, or Sheikh Usta will take him to whichever country he belongs to. It's a very silly thing. If there is Hinduism or a Hindu government in India tomorrow, then according to their religious philosophy, or at least the conservative interpretation of Hinduism, which is offered by the mainstream Hindu organization, Muslim would be treated as Malich and Shuddha. They would be on the bottom layer of social stratification. They would be relegated to the status of a second class citizen. So, do Sheikh Usta and Sahil Adeem want Muslim to be treated in that way? Do they want more than 20 million Muslims living in Western world to be kicked out? Do they want that? So they are silent on that issue. They say no. There they will say, oh, we will conquer the world, we will do this, we will do this. This is all verbosity, this is all rhetoric. Practically they know they can't do anything without it. There are so many things, there may be so many bad things in Western world, but it's very ironic that these Muslim fundamentalists, they want to have nuclear bombs, they want to have weapons, they want to have tanks, they want to have fighter jet, which is the most horrible invention of the Western world. But they are opposed to things like Christmas, like Valentine, which are harmless, like birthday, like music, like movies. They are against them. They are against secularism, which has granted Muslim and other minorities to practice their religion. And people like Sahil Adeem and Dr. Israr Ahmad, Maulana Maududi in the past, they try to, if you listen to them, so they more or less equate secularism to atheism, right? I mean, it will give an impression that secularism and atheism are the same. In reality, a religion or a system that allows Muslim, Christians, Jews, Hindus, Sikh, Buddhist, and people of other faith to practice their own religion. It is, uh, it is, it cannot be declared atheism at all. It is a system that believes in, uh, tolerance, that believes in giving freedom to all people living in a state. Unfortunately, because of the rhetoric of people like Sahil Adeem and Sheikh Usta, Muslim do not want to give freedoms to non-Muslim in their own land. Look what is happening with Hindus in Bangladesh. Look what is happening with Christians in Nigeria. Look what is happening with Alawite and other minorities in Syria. Look what the Islamic State, the terrorist group, did with the Yazidi women in Iraq. And Muslims have adopted criminal silence over these violations of human rights on a massive scale. Why? People like Sheikh Usta and Sahil Adeem, they are there to misguide Muslim. So therefore, Muslim, especially living in Western world, must be aware of the rhetoric of these fundamentalists who want to push another generation of Muslim towards extremism and fundamentalism.